There's a kind of dirt your eyes cannot see, but your spirit can feel. It hides behind screens. And by Sunday night, when your body is tired and your guard is low, that digital clutter can become more than distraction. It can become an open room in your soul. Have you ever wondered why your peace feels so heavy before a new week begins? You may think your phone is just a tool. You may think those tabs, notifications, saved posts, and private habits have no spiritual weight because they are not physical things. But Scripture never treats the unseen as unreal. Jesus warned that the eye is the lamp of the body, and when the eye is unhealthy, the whole body can become full of darkness. That means what you repeatedly look at does not simply pass through you. It teaches you what to desire. It trains your nervous system to crave noise. It quietly decides what feels normal. What has your screen been teaching you this week? Sunday night is not magical, but it is a threshold. One week is closing, and another is about to begin. In the Bible, thresholds mattered. Clean and unclean mattered. People prepared themselves before sacred moments, not because dust could defeat God, but because disorder can dull discernment. Before Israel approached God, there was often washing, separation, and consecration, not performance, preparation. So when you enter Monday carrying 7 days of digital contamination, your calendar is not the only thing that feels crowded. Your mind is crowded. Your prayer is crowded. Your desires are crowded. And crowded places are hard places to hear the whisper of God. This is why cleansing your digital space is not just about productivity. It is about spiritual custody. You have been entrusted with your attention. Your attention is the doorway to your imagination. And your imagination is where fear rehearses, lust paints, envy compares, anger argues, and faith either breathes or suffocates. The enemy does not need to destroy your whole life in one dramatic night. Sometimes he only needs to keep your inner room messy enough that you stop noticing what entered. A suggestive video, a profile that keeps awakening comparison, a playlist that keeps pulling you backward. Would you leave your front door open all night just because no one has walked in yet? There's a reason the Apostle Paul told believers to take every thought captive. He did not say to admire every thought. He said captive. That word is not gentle. It means your inner life is contested territory. And today, many of the thoughts you must take captive arrive through a glowing rectangle in your hand. They arrive dressed as entertainment. They arrive disguised as updates. They arrive as outrage, curiosity, humor, temptation, and false urgency. By the time you kneel to pray, you're not only bringing your needs before God, you're bringing 1,000 images that asked for a place inside you. Which ones did you allow to stay? A Sunday night, cleansing begins with one painful truth. Not everything that is permitted is harmless. Paul said that all things may be lawful, but not all things are helpful, and he refused to be mastered by anything. Because what masters you does not always look like chains. Sometimes it looks like a reflex. You reach for the phone before you reach for prayer. You check messages before you check your heart. You scroll because silence feels too revealing. And then you wonder why peace feels far away. Here is the hidden danger. Digital clutter is not only content you consume. It is unfinished spiritual noise. Every unread argument, every saved temptation, every secret folder, every account that feeds resentment, every app that pulls you into comparison, and every memory you keep reopening becomes a small altar of attention. You may not bow with your knees, but you return with your eyes. And what you return to repeatedly begins to disciple you. This is why the first cleanse is not deletion. It is discernment. You look at your digital space and ask one question with brutal honesty. Does this help me walk toward God, or does it make darkness easier to tolerate? Do not rush past that question. It may reveal why your prayers have felt thin. It may reveal why your sleep has become restless. It may reveal why you feel spiritually tired before the week has even started. You cannot drink anxiety for 6 days and expect calm devotion on the 7th night. In Proverbs, wisdom says to guard your heart with all diligence, because from it flow the springs of life. If the heart is a spring, then your feed can become a drain. What has been draining you while calling itself entertainment? The counterintuitive part is this. A digital cleanse is not mainly about removing evil things. It is also about removing excess things. Too much harmless noise can make you spiritually deaf. Too many opinions can make conviction feel like pressure. Too many images can make real life feel dull. Too many notifications can train you to obey interruption more quickly than obedience. This is how a person can avoid obvious sin and still live spiritually scattered, just divided. And a divided soul is easy to steer. So Sunday night becomes a small act of war. You delete what keeps pulling you backward. You unfollow what awakens envy. You mute what feeds anger. You close the tabs that keep secret doors open. You remove the apps that have become stronger than your self-control. You clear the conversations that keep your heart tied to confusion. You do not do this because your phone is evil. You do it because your peace is valuable. You do it because your home has an atmosphere. You do it because Monday should not begin with yesterday's shadows already sitting at the table. But cleansing without replacing is dangerous. Jesus spoke of an unclean spirit leaving a house and later returning to find it empty, swept, and put in order. The warning is disturbing because the house was clean but empty. Emptiness is not protection. An empty phone, an empty evening, an empty mind after deletion can quickly invite the same patterns back with more force. So after you remove, you must consecrate. You choose what will occupy the space. A Bible audio app, a prayer list, a playlist that softens your spirit instead of stirring your flesh. A quiet alarm that reminds you to stop before sleep and surrender the day. What will fill the room after the noise leaves? This is where the practice becomes deeply personal. You sit on Sunday night with your device in your hand, and for once, you do not let it command you. You examine it like a room. You ask what entered this week. You ask what made you anxious. You ask what made you impure. You ask what made you angry. You ask what made you forget God. Then you act, quietly. The most important spiritual decisions are often invisible to everyone except heaven. There may be resistance. You may feel that deleting one app or muting one account cannot matter that much. But small gates can guard large cities. Achan hid forbidden things inside his tent, and the whole camp felt the consequence. What is hidden in your digital tent may not look like gold or a stolen garment. It may look like a private habit, a recurring conversation, a feed that keeps bending your desires, or a memory you preserve because you are afraid to let it die. Hidden things do not stay harmless because they are hidden. They become roots. The goal is not fear for fear's sake. The goal is awareness. You are not cleansing your digital space to impress God. You are making room to notice Him again. You are telling your soul that not every voice gets access. You are telling your mind that not every image deserves storage. And maybe when the screen grows quieter, you will discover that God was not silent. Your life was simply too loud. Before you sleep on Sunday night, look at your digital world one more time. Not as a user, as a gatekeeper. What needs to be removed before it becomes normal? What needs to be closed before it becomes a doorway? What needs to be surrendered before it becomes a master? The dirt your eyes cannot see may already be speaking to your spirit. And tonight, you must decide whether it stays.